Alright, welcome. This video is how to use ArcPro to create a ArcGIS online points layer that we can then share and use in field maps to collect data and then also open back up in ArcPro. So with the ArcPro project open, just a basic map, it's got the auto-generated file geodatabase. First thing we're going to do is create a domain, or essentially a drop down, and we're just going to use an example of trees, different tree types or species, which is going to be a text field, and we're just going to add some common trees into this thing. And you can have numerical codes if you want. This is about as basic of an example as I could think of. We'll get the tamarack in there just for fun. Okay, we'll save that. So our domain name is called trees. So now we're going to actually generate a points layer or feature class. Make sure it's point. We're going to call it tree types. We don't need M or Z. So this is where we have one opportunity to create a new field. So we're going to do species, and we need to make sure it's a text field. So if we set it up just like this out in the field, you just have to manually type in the different species. But if we enable the domain that we just created, it'll have the pre-built drop down for us to pick from in the field. And so we're going to do that. That's the trees domain. We'll add another one that's just a numeric field for diameter at breast height, dBH. And that's really all you need to do to set up a feature class and a domain. Now let's make it look how we want before we push it out to the cloud. So we're going to symbolize this using unique values based on the species type. You could use any field you want for this. I like to format all symbols just to get them the same shape and size. And then if then is the time to pick the different colors for each of the tree species, and you can certainly play with the symbology, the symbols, the outline colors. We're just going to keep this as simple as possible. Partially too, the simpler the better when you're working with field maps or other things, going back and forth with online symbology. Okay, so now we got our colors. We have all other values. I'm going to actually uncheck that just for demonstration purposes. Alright, we save that. So now we kind of have our pre-built layer. There's no points actually collected. We certainly could, if you wanted to put points on the map, we could edit, go to create, and pick from our pre-built options and zoom into where we want. But we're going to do that out in the field, so we're just going to send this on up to the cloud as a web layer, share as a web layer. We're not sharing the map, we're just sharing the web layer. Tags are always a good idea. We'll share it within our organization. Alright, if we analyze this, we get a couple common errors. One is unique numeric IDs, so this is a must-do. Go to your map and properties, allow assignment of unique numeric IDs for sharing web layers, so we do that. And then one or more symbol classes are not visible. I think that's because I turned off all the other values, so it lets us just fix that right there. So I'll reanalyze, see if the other one goes away, and it does. So now we can publish. And while that's publishing, we'll open one that we did before. And basically what it's going to do is it's going to create a feature layer, and it's going to have that trees points layer, depending what we called it. We can open it in a map viewer, but first off what we need to do is set it to enable editing. This can take a few seconds, so I already clicked this, so you can determine what type of editing you want, if everybody in your organization can add, delete, update, and what types of updates. That's something you're going to want to do so you can actually use it in field maps. So when you add it to a web layer, or you create a new web map, if you add it to a web map or create a new web map, if you add it, it'll be there. Otherwise you can certainly browse layers, and generally it's in the top of your tree types. There we go. You can add it. You can rename it, and it's going to have those pre-built. This one is one I did earlier without the tamarack, but it's got your pre-built things that you've got in there, and you just need to save that. So then you are set to go into your Field Maps app on your mobile device, open it, and collect points. Sometimes there's like a minimum accuracy you'll need to be able to collect points, but you'll see these same colors and symbols. So let's say we get that done. We collect a few points out in the field. Now what we're going to do is add them back into ArcPro. I like to have this reset panes button as in my presets, along with the add data, the rectangle zoom, just some things I like to always have available. Alright, so we're going to add it from our ArcGIS Online account. So you can go to Portal, depending on what we called it. I think this is one that we generated, tree types. I didn't actually collect data in that, so we'll add this other one. Alright, so you can see if we zoom into Brainerd Baxter that we have collected 2 different points, an aspen and a pine. And certainly too, we could enable attachments, enable ability to take pictures. But for now, there you have it. That's a super simple way to add a point field in ArcPro and keep that symbology all the way throughout the process.